Now, The Witcher 4 trailer has been out for a couple of weeks now, and while obviously everybody is very hyped to see that CDPR is releasing a new Witcher game, the opinions were quite mixed when it came to this one. Some people loved it, they loved the fact that we would be able to play as Ciri, they loved the way it looks. Other people really didn't like it, they didn't like the way Ciri looked, they didn't like the whole idea of the trailer. And I myself have to say that as a guy who has read all the books, played all the video games, and being a huge Witcher fan, I am kind of torn in between, because I obviously love the fact that we'll be getting a new Witcher game, because I think CDPR is just way better at doing Witcher games. We saw it with Cyberpunk what happened when they tried a different route, and when it comes to The Witcher, every game they released has become a great success and a great game. And while I also loved the trailer, how the combat looked, how the people looked, there are still some things that kind of worry me. And one huge aspect of the game obviously is that Ciri will be the new protagonist. And not long ago I actually made a series where I talked and created kind of my perfect Witcher 4 game. And in those videos I also talked about my dream protagonist. And in that video I also spoke about the fact why Ciri wasn't amongst my favorite ones. Obviously it was quite clear that Ciri is a very possible answer. You know, we had Vesemir and Ciri, those two were really the ones that the community talked a lot about. And my opinions on Ciri were quite mixed, to be honest. Because you have to think about it. On one hand, we'll have the problem with the gameplay when it comes to Ciri. Think about The Witcher 3 and those little scenes where we were able to play as Ciri. Guys, she was just so overpowered. It was so easy to kill everything and everyone around you. You know, you could teleport in time with her. I remember that one scene where you run from all the guards with Dandelion or Jaskier, and you literally just one-shot every single guard and go berserker mode with Ciri, something that would not have been able with Geralt, and you really see how much more powerful and how much more potential she really has. And in The Witcher 4, that, in my opinion, might be a big problem, because if players play The Witcher 3, and after that they'll play The Witcher 4, but Ciri most likely will have to have a huge downgrade from The Witcher 3. I mean, because if it will be so easy to play with her, the game itself will be extremely easy if they don't change anything regarding her skills, the damage and everything around it. If you'll be able to one-shot human enemies, that will obviously make the game way too easy, and they'll have to think of a way to kind of navigate that. I myself think that they might do something similar from The Witcher 1, for example. In The Witcher 1, Geralt actually lost his memory. Maybe in The Witcher 4, Ciri will kind of lose her abilities. We'll see how that will turn out, but to play with Ciri in that powerful version that we had in The Witcher 3 will be impossible, and they will have to think of a way to actually do that. Another thing that I talked about in my Witcher games and why I wasn't the biggest fan of Ciri is the fact that some players have completely different endings. For anyone that hasn't played The Witcher 3, now please close your ears, because there will be huge spoilers regarding the endings. But the endings are so different. There's one ending, probably my favorite one, where Ciri actually becomes a Witcher, and that is also the ending that The Witcher 4 will take as a start. However, there are different endings. There is the ending where Ciri actually dies. There is an ending where she actually becomes the Princess of Nilfgaard. And in my opinion, it will be quite difficult, because imagine a guy who has played The Witcher 3 and gets the ending that Ciri is dead. And now The Witcher 4 comes out and Ciri is alive. You know, that will be one thing that I don't know if they will be actually able to answer that, because I think the obvious answer now is that they just chose the ending where Ciri becomes a Witcher and stuck with that. But one big strength of The Witcher 3 was actually the fact that we had different choices, that we could have different endings, and that will be kind of tricky now that we have Ciri. And now I've seen a lot of people in forums, whether it's on Reddit, whether it is on YouTube, who really hate the way that Ciri looks. And now I have to say, guys, on one hand, Ciri is older. She is not the young girl from The Witcher 3. And believe me, if you live the way of The Witcher for years, you will absolutely look older, even though Witcher live way longer than humans. But it is obvious that you will not be the finest looking lady as a Witcher. And another thing, I mean, look at the Witcher 3 trailers where they first came out, and look at Yennefer in those trailers. She looked completely different than in the final game. So while this is the trailer on Unreal Engine 5 and the game might actually look close to the trailer, which would be a great sign because the trailer looks absolutely phenomenal, don't be so certain that Ciri will look the way she actually looks here, because as I said, it was the same thing with The Witcher 2, with The Witcher 3, where some characters looked completely different in the game compared to those trailers. And what are your opinions on The Witcher 4 trailer? Obviously I'm hyped as hell, because simply it is a new Witcher game, and that automatically makes me hyped. Doesn't matter the fact, and I hope that they will take their time with this one, because I don't want to see another Cyberpunk. But as I said in the beginning of the video, I think when it comes to The Witcher, CDPR won't miss, because Cyberpunk obviously was a completely different thing compared to everything that they have done. And now that they return to the Witcher universe, it's just great news, and I'm very looking forward to seeing more and more things revealed along the way. And obviously we'll talk a lot more about the upcoming Witcher game, so subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss those videos. Alright guys, that was it from me in today's video. I wish you all an amazing day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.